Reversible and irreversible changes. Easy explanation. 1. What is a change? A change means when something becomes different from what it was before. For example, when ice is kept in a warm place, it melts and becomes water. When paper is burned, it turns into ash and smoke. When sugar is mixed in water, it disappears and forms a sweet solution. Changes happen everywhere around us all the time. 2. Types of changes. There are two main types of changes. Reversible change. Irreversible change. A reversible change can be undone, while an irreversible change cannot be undone. 3. Reversible changes.
हो गई
A reversible change is a change in which we can get the original material back.
क्या हो क्या गया है मशीन
No new substance is formed. The change can be reversed. Examples.
नहीं हो गई जब तेरा
Sand and water. When sand is mixed with water, the sand does not dissolve. It only settles down at the bottom.
चल रहा
We can separate the sand by filtering or by letting it settle and pouring out the water. The sand remains the same as before. This is a reversible change because we can get both sand and water back. Salt and water. When salt is added to water, it dissolves and seems to disappear. However, if we heat the water, it evaporates and leaves the salt behind. The salt remains the same as before. This is reversible because we can recover the salt. Melting ice. When ice is kept at room temperature, it melts into water. If we put that water in a freezer, it turns back into ice again. This is reversible because we can get ice again. Melting chocolate. When chocolate is heated, it melts and becomes soft or liquid. When it is cooled, it becomes hard again. This is also reversible. 4. Irreversible changes. An irreversible change is a change that cannot be undone. New substances are formed. Original material cannot be obtained again. Examples. Eggshell with vinegar. When an eggshell is placed in vinegar, bubbles form on the shell and it slowly disappears. A gas is produced during this reaction. After the reaction, the shell is gone and cannot be brought back. This is an irreversible change. Cooking an egg. When a raw egg is cooked, its color, taste, and texture change completely. The liquid part becomes solid. Even if we cool it, we cannot change it back into a raw egg. This is irreversible. Burning paper. When paper is burned, it turns into ash and smoke. The ash is completely different from the original paper. We cannot change ash back into paper, so it is irreversible. 5. Mixing substances. When two substances are mixed, two things can happen. In some cases, no new material is formed. For example, when sand is mixed with water, both remain the same and can be separated. This type of change is reversible. In other cases, a new material is formed. For example, when vinegar is mixed with baking powder, bubbles of gas are produced. This shows a chemical reaction has taken place. This change is irreversible. 6. How to identify a new substance. We can know that a new substance has formed by observing some signs. Bubbles of gas are produced. Color changes. Heat or light is produced. A new smell appears. For example, when fruit salt is added to water, bubbles quickly form. This shows that a gas is being produced and a new substance has formed. 7. Safety rule.
मैंने कुछ नहीं किया
Never mix chemicals without permission from a teacher or adult. Because some mixtures can produce poisonous gases, cause explosions of fire. 8. Changes caused by heating. Heat can cause both reversible and irreversible changes. Irreversible changes by heating. Cooking an egg. Heat changes the egg permanently. It cannot return to its raw form. Heating sugar strongly. When sugar is heated a lot, it turns black and gives off gases. A new substance called carbon is formed. This change cannot be reversed. Reversible changes by heating. Melting chocolate. Chocolate melts when heated and becomes solid again when cooled. Water changes. When ice is heated, it becomes water. When water is heated more, it becomes water vapor. When water vapor cools down, it becomes water again. When water is cooled further, it becomes ice. All these changes are reversible because no new substance is formed. 9. Changes of state. Matter exists in 3 states: solid, liquid, and gas. When heat is added, a solid changes into a liquid, and a liquid changes into a gas. When heat is removed, a gas changes into a liquid, and a liquid changes into a solid. These are reversible changes. Thus, burning very important. Burning is a chemical change. It happens when a substance reacts with oxygen. It produces heat, light, and new substances. Examples. When wood burns, it becomes ash. When a candle burns, gases and soot are formed. When gas burns, it produces carbon dioxide and water vapor. Burning is always irreversible because the original material cannot be obtained again. 11. Candle burning mixed change. When a candle burns, 2 types of changes happen. The wax melts due to heat and can become solid again when cooled. This part is reversible. The wax also burns and forms new substances like gases and soot. This part is irreversible. 12. Oxygen is important for burning. Burning needs oxygen to continue. For example, if a burning candle is covered with a glass, it stops burning after some time because the oxygen inside the glass is used up. 13. Flammable materials. Flammable materials are substances that catch fire easily. Examples include petrol, gas, and oil. These materials are dangerous because they can cause fires, injuries, and accidents. We should always handle them carefully. 14. Important points to remember. Reversible changes can be undone. Irreversible changes cannot be undone. Formation of a new substance means the change is irreversible. New substance means the change is reversible. Heating can cause both types of changes. Burning is always irreversible. Oxygen is necessary for burning. 15. Daily life examples. Cooking food is an irreversible change because we cannot return it to its raw form. Freezing water is reversible because ice can melt back into water. Burning wood is irreversible because it becomes ash. Melting chocolate is reversible because it can become solid again. 16. Extra understanding. Electricity and light can also cause changes. For example, an electric iron heats clothes and removes wrinkles. Plants use sunlight to make their food. A candle cannot burn on the moon because there is no oxygen present there, and oxygen is necessary for burning. Final easy summary. Reversible changes can be undone and no new substance is formed. Irreversible changes cannot be undone and new substances are formed. Heating can cause both types of changes. Burning is always an irreversible change. Oxygen is necessary for burning.